Namaste everyone. So tonight we'll read Book 5, Chapter 28 on the description of the fighting of the goddesses. Om Vakratuna Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Niravikanam Kunamideva Sarvakaya Susharvada Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Reva Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Om Hamsa Hamsa Vidmi Paramhamsa Dimituna Hamsa Prashodhyat. Hari Om. Tatsat Hari Om. Vyasa said, O king, the Devi hearing thus laughed and spoke the following reasonable words in a voice deep as rumbling cloud. O dull-brained one, already I told to that messenger before and replied to you. Why then do you boast in vain? If there be any such in the three worlds who can stand equal to me in appearance, strength, and prosperity, I will marry him. Go to Sumba and Nishumba and inform them that thus I promised before. Therefore, let any of them conquer me in battle and then marry me according to the prescribed rules. You have come here to execute the order of Shumba, so either stand up and fight or fly to Patala with your king. Vyasa said, O king, hearing the Devi's words, the Danava was filled with anger and began to shoot dreadful arrows at once at the lion. Ambika then, ready-handed, seeing the multitude of arrows coming in the sky like serpents, cut them off in a moment to pieces by her sharp arrows. The Devi then, drawing her bow, shot arrows sharpened on stone at the great Asura, Raktabija. Then that wicked demon, thus shot at by the arrows, fell unconscious on the chariot. When he lay thus senseless, a great uproar arose amidst his army, and the soldiers began to cry aloud, saying, Alas, we are killed. We all are killed. Then Shumba, the king of the Asuras, hearing the sound of Vuma, a danger cry by hand and mouth, ordered all the Danavas to be ready for the battle. Then Shumba said, Let all Kambojas go to the battle with all their forces. Let all powerful heroes, especially the Kalakeyas too. We are very strong heroes. Go up for the battle. Note, Kamboja, name of a people and their country. They inhabited the Hindu Kush mountain, which separates the Gilgit Valley from Balka, and probably extended up to Little Tibet and Ladakh. The Kalakeyas may be the Afrides. Vyasa said, O king, thus ordered all the fourfold army of Shumba, viz. Cavalry, infantry, elephants, and chariots went out, intoxicated for war, to the battleground where the Devi existed. The Devi Chandika, seeing the Danava forces coming near, made at once terrible sounds frequently. The Ambika Devi also made the sound with her bowstring and blew her conch shell. Kali then shouted aloud, opening her mouth widely. The powerful lion, the Devi's Vahana, hearing the terrible sounds, roared so loudly that the Danavas were struck with strange terror. The powerful Danavas, then hearing that sound, became impatient with anger and shot arrows after arrows on the Devi. The wonderful, horrible battle then ensued, causing horripilation, and the Shaktis of Brahma and the other Devas began to come to Chandika Devi. The Devis, the wives of the several Devas, then went to the battlefield in their respective forms with ornaments and vahanas, and generally on such occasions. The Shakti, wife of Brahma, named Brahmani, mounting on the back of a swan, came there with a string of beads and kamandalu, and wooden water pot used by ascetics. The Vaishnavi, with her yellow robes, came there, mounted on Garuda, the sacred bird of Vishnu, the carrier of him. The conch, discus, club, and lotus in her hands, the Devi Sankari, the wife of Shiva, the auspicious one, arrived on the back of her bull. The emblem of half moon was on her forehead, while in her hands she had snake, bracelet, and trident, Trisula, and the sign of fearlessness for her devotees. The beautiful wife of Kartikeya, Komari Devi, looking like Kartikeya, came to fight there mounted on a peacock. The fair-faced Indrini, decked with ornaments on her several limbs, came there to fight, with thunderbolt in her hand, mounted on the elephant Aryavata. The Varahi Devi, looking like a female boar, came also, seated on an elevated seat of departed souls, Pretas. The Narsimhi, resembling Narsimha, the man-lion incarnation, came there. The wife of Yama, looking fearful like Yama, arrived there on the battlefield, smiling and with staff in her hand and mounted on the back of a buffalo. Thus the wives of Kuvera, Varuna, and other devas came there with proper forms, vahanas, ornaments, accompanied by their forces, and all excited. Seeing them all, the Devi Ambika became glad. The devas too became peaceful and expressed their great joy. The Danavas were afraid at the sight of them. Sankara, auspicious to all the beings, came there to the battlefield, surrounded by these goddesses, and thus said to Chandika, "Slay quickly all these asuras, Shumba, Nisumba, and all other Danavas, to serve the cause of the Devas. Let all the goddesses destroy the Danava race, and thus free the world from dangers. They may then return to their own abodes. Let the Devas get their shares of sacrifices. Let the Brahmanas perform the sacrificial acts, and let all the creatures, moving or not moving, be happy. Let all calamities such as proceed from drought, excessive rain, rats, foreign invasion, locusts and birds, bats, etc. come to an end. Let the clouds bestow rains regularly, and let the cultivation yield ample harvest." Note here that rats bring in plague. Vyasa said, "O king, when Shankara, the lord of the gods and auspicious to all, said thus, a wonderful female ensued out of the body of Chandika, very furious, horrible, with hundreds of jackals surrounding and yelling. Then that Shakti, a dreadful appearance, said to the five-faced Siva, smiling, O Deva of the Devas, go quickly to the Lord of the Daityas. Do the duty of a messenger for us. O destroyer of lust, O Shankara, tell that haughty, lustful Shumba and Nishumba leave the heavens and go to Patala. Let the Devas reign in the heavens. Indra go to his own beautiful throne. Let all the Devas go to their appropriate places in heaven and receive their sacrificial offerings duly. And if the demons desire to live, let them go quickly to the city of Patala, where other Danavas are dwelling. Else, if they like to die, let them go quickly to the battlefield and let their flesh be eaten up by her jackals." Vyasa said, "O king, hearing her words, Sulapani went quickly to Shumba, the lord of the Danavas, seated in the assembly, and said thus, O king, I am Hara, the destroyer of the Asura Tripura. Now I have come to you for your good as a messenger of Ambika Devi. Quit the heavens and earth and go quickly to Patala, where reside the powerful Bali and Prahalada. Or if you like to court death, come to fight. I will slay you all in a moment. O king, the great Queen Ambika Devi has sent me with these instructions for your welfare and information." Vyasa said, "O king," thus conveying the nectar-like beneficial words of the Devi to the chief Daityas, Shiva, the holder of the trident, returned to his own place. The Shakti that sent Shambhu as a messenger to the Danavas is known in 3 worlds as Sivadhuti. The Daityas, thus hearing the rigorous words of the Devi, put on their coats of armor and, taking their bows and arrows, quickly went out to fight. They came with great force to the battlefield, stretched their bows to their ears and shot piercing arrows, sharpened on stone and tipped with iron, at the Chandika Devi. The Kalika Devi too began to strike, some with the trident, some with Shakti weapon, and some with clubs, and rent them asunder and devoured them all, and began to roam in the field. Brahmini began to pour water from her kamandalu on the powerful Danavas in the battlefield and thus destroyed them. Maheshwari, mounting on her bull, gave violent blows by her trident and thus laid them dead on the ground. Vaishnavi, the blow of her club, took away the lives of many Daityas and, striking them with her discus out of the heads of several others, Indrani hurled her thunderbolt on the chief Danavas, already struck by the feet of the elephant, and lay them dead on the field. Narasimhi tore the strongest Danavas with the sharp nails and devouring them, walked to and fro and made dreadful sounds. Shivaduti began to laugh hoarsely and laid the Danavas flat on the field, when they were at once devoured by Kalika and Chandika. Komari, seated on a peacock, by drawing the bowstring to her ears, hurled arrows sharpened on stone on the enemies and killed them to serve the cause of the gods. Varuni tied down the Danavas by her pasa weapons in a face-to-face fighting. Thus they lay down senseless on the ground. O king, thus the Matrikas, the goddesses, crushed the forces. Then the other powerful soldiers fled away terrified. The Boomba danger cry rose then loudly. On the other hand, the Devas began to shower flowers on the Devis. Hearing the distressful agonies of the Asuras and the shouts of victory on the Devas, Raktabija, the chief of the Danavas, became very angry, seeing specially the Danavas flying away and the Devas shouting. That powerful demon came hurriedly to the battlefield with anger. Then, with eyes reddened with anger and with various weapons, came for the Devi, Raktabija mounting on the chariot and making sounds unusual with his bowstring. Here ends the 28th chapter of the 5th book on the description of the fighting of the goddesses in Srimad Devi Bhagavatam, the Mahapuranam of 18,000 verses by Maharishi Vedvyasa. Hari Om. Jayanti Mangalakali Bhadrakali Kapali Durga Kshama Shivadatri Swaha Swadha Namasate. Om Tumiva Mata Chapita Tumiva Bandhuscha Chasaka Tumiva Vidya Dravinang Tumiva Sarvam Mamadeva Deva. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.